Hello?
Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
And there's only you and I on here so far.
Yeah. Yep. I was just double checking to make sure it's supposed to be go on because it wasn't, just I was on there by myself. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Brianna's coming on. Somebody else is
Yes.
connecting.
Mhm.
So are you doing the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I saw this on the KW Resources, I think.
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
for once a month, I planned on attending in August, but this way I'll be here now and in August.
Oh, there you go. Ah, lots of people are coming on.
Yeah.
I thought it was at 9:30 this morning, so I clicked open everything, and I did have one person on there. So I thought, oh, okay, well, we'll just go through it. And then I saw my little notification came up and said, or 1 o'clock. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. So much
Oh,
goes on.
I know, it's a lot. So we'll just give it another minute. I am going to share my screen. And you all should be able to see my command. Are you seeing it?
I can see it.
Yeah. All right. Are you all new agents?
I'm new to the brokerage side, but
Okay.
I spent 25 years in the corporate side of financial reporting side of real estate.
Ah, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Good. I'm taking my Ohio for the Ohio real estate license.
Okay.
I have to go through the whole thing again.
Oh, wow.
So I know it's dreadful, but yeah, now I'm going into financing. The last class is financing. So
Wow.
oh,
Yeah,
it's
I've had
fun.
mine licensed for 5 years
Okay.
in North and South Carolina.
Oh, good. So you've done transactions?
Only
Oh,
have done referrals
okay. Okay.
because the company that I worked for, I was full-time with them and
Hmm.
didn't know the brokerage side to go out and sell. We couldn't do both.
Okay.
So yeah, so I
Oh, that's
worked,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
All
worked
right.
doing corporate financial reports.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm Carla, obviously, and I do all the compliance, checking everybody's documents that comes through. And you'll see a screen. My screen looks like this. So this is what I look at pretty much all day. And so this is everything that I do. And let me see if I can get back. So how many of you have done transactions? I know, Carolyn, you only did the referrals.
Yes.
Did the others? Oh, Brianna, you've done good. Good. So you should know a little bit about this. Um, come on. Oh, I guess that's the only one. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty much caught up right now, but I will check everybody's documents, make sure it's all complete. When you go and do a transaction, the first thing you're going to do, are you guys still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. My Zoom just changed. I just wondered if everybody got kicked off. But the first thing you're going to do is obviously you're going to put your contact into command. And then you're going to create an opportunity from that. Do you all know how to do that?
I do not.
Okay, let me show you. I'm going to go back to my command. This is my personal one. So you have your list of contacts, which you should be putting in as many as you can into your database here. So I'm going to just pick him, and you've got everything in here. And then here's an opportunity. If they don't, they might have more than one, because one could be for buying and one could be for a selling. So this one, he already has one, but if I wanted to create another one, I would go here and just, is it a buying or is it a listing? Just pick the one there. It has to be picked. So the what little red asterisk means it has to be chosen. And then go on down. If you have a closing date or the list price, put that in, that helps. And then the opportunity phase could be, it could be active, it could be negotiating, or whatever it is. Just pick one. And then you would click on create. Okay. So once you've created an opportunity, it should come up looking like you can then find it in here in your little opportunities, which is that little handshake. Okay. And I'm just going to find one here. I'm just making this one up. So here's your opportunity. So you would go to documents. If you know the address, please put it in here, because that's pretty much how we find it when like with Lynn or myself, if we're trying to find a specific one for you, perhaps. If you have the address in here, it's a lot easier for us to find. So put that address. You just use this little pencil here and put the address in. Then here's the document section. And I've created a North Carolina listing folder. Okay, so obviously it would be from a listing, and you'll see all of these little placeholders that show the names of what document belongs there. Okay. In these folders, this is a listing. You'll see the ones that say required. So look for those, and you can imagine those are ones that are required. Imagine that. So definitely you'll need these in there. The first thing is the working with real estate agents and the listing agreement, or if you're doing the buyer's agency agreement, are by law supposed to be, excuse me, submitted within 3 days of signing. Okay, so once you have those documents signed, those two, put them in there, put them in here, and then click submit. Here it says submit to MC. Okay. Once you have them in there, click that. That'll come to me, and then I can review it. It'll have to be rejected if it's only those two, because there's a lot more to go in there yet. But I will let you know that the ones that you submitted are approved, but just add the missing documents when required, which is usually at least 7 days before closing. Okay. The reason I said that is because so many people have been submitting the documents after closing. They'll submit all their files, and it's like, oh, so you've already closed, but now you're submitting, and then I have to review them. And if they are incorrect, or if there's something missing, then you will have to go back to your buyer or seller after closing and ask to get documents completed or signed. And that's kind of embarrassing to do. I mean, it's been done and it can be done, but you don't really want to do that. Okay, so get those submitted early and often. I don't care how many times you submit it. Okay, any questions on that?
I'd like to ask a question. You
Okay.
mentioned the word opportunity, create an
Mhm.
opportunity. Does that mean whether it's a listing or a buyer?
Yes.
Okay,
So if you go here to your opportunities in that little handshake, it'll look like this. So here's listings. There's the listing ones. Here's the buyer ones. And it depends, it'll go there automatically once you hit that on you click on the buyer or seller one when you're creating the opportunity. Remember that? I said, oh, you'd hit the buyer and seller one.
okay,
Okay. That'll come here automatically. Okay. So that's where you'll find them. You can either do it that way, this way, or you can go all opportunities, and then all of your opportunities will come up. Okay. So that's how that works. I was here. So you submit those documents within 3 days, the first two. And if it's a coming soon or a firm exclusive, submit that as well. And then the rest of the documents, you'll see these two are required. Here's one that's required, which is the property disclosures, obviously. The MOG, the mineral oil, gas, and the septic and sewer. So all of the ones that say required are going to be required, that you need to have those in there. Sometimes it's a lead-based paint. It's a listing before 1978. So that's conditional. If you look there, hover over that little I, and it says if the house was built prior to 78, then you'll have to add that in there, okay? If you have a septic permit and you've already completed that, if you have the septic permit, upload it here. Okay, those are all conditional. And then the optional ones, of course, are just that. I mean, if you do have it's almost conditional, because if you do have the agreement to procure a tenant, then obviously you need to put that in there. So all of these ones, okay? So there's that list. You can also get a checklist off of KWB Resources. Okay. Once you have this up, now you have to put the documents in there. And I hope, I assume all of you are using DocuSign. Is that correct? If you're not, then if you are using something different, just let me know. But it's usually DocuSign or Dotloop. And Dotloop you have to pay for. So DocuSign's free, so why not just use that? I am not an expert on DocuSign, but I do know you need to get those forms completed. Once you have this set up, you can start a transaction, which is it says start a transaction, and it's going to go to your DocuSign. Okay. And then you're going to log in. You should have all of your credentials. You should have all your login information already in that nice little email that Liz sends you, or Scott Leroy, whichever one. Okay, then I need to add a document. You could go to DocuSign Forms, and there's a whole list of forms in here. The KWC or KW 350 North Carolina is pretty much stuff that you can get off of the KWB Resources. So if you click on that, there it is. That title insurance that we've talked about, the affiliated business disclosure. This is no longer required because it's now needed, it's a required document in South Carolina, but the septic and sewer is one that is needed. So those documents can be found here. Just go into the KW 350, which is our office, or you can go to KWB Resources, find the document and download it from there. Or you can go up here and click on whichever listing you need or any document that you need. Okay, and then add the selected. And that will here we go, bring them all up here. Okay, so any document you need. So this all says it has a little icon maybe that says form on it. Those are ones that you can pre-fill. To pre-fill them, the best way to do that is to go here. Before you start to fill out any form, go here to your details in DocuSign. Okay, click on the details and you want to fill out as much as you can, as much as you know. Okay, you'll have to get the address, put the address in there, the listing date, the expiration date, the listing amount, all those that you can put in there. Even if you have the legal description, put that in there. Especially important is over here, the seller. So you're going to put in as much information as you can, and especially the name, the phone number, one of the phone numbers, the email, and their current address. Even if it's the same as the listing, put that in there, because at the end of the document, it's all going to be pre-applied onto that. Okay, it'll be pre-filled. Okay, so if I don't put anything in here, you're going to have to manually put all that information in. So if you do it from the details section first, as much information as you can, put them in there, then it'll pre-fill it all for you. Okay, especially here, you need the name, the phone number, email, and address. Okay, if they're not on either the listing agent and the buyer's agency, I return them. Okay, if there's a second seller, same thing. You don't have to put the address in twice, but do the email and phone numbers, which are usually different. And then the listing agent or buyer's agent, same thing. Put the company name, address, and all the information. Okay. And then you'll hit save. And then you would go over to documents. Okay. Then when you bring up a document like this, just click on it when it says form. Now notice I didn't put much in there in the details section. So when it comes up, my name was in there and Keller Williams Valentine was in there, but there wasn't much else in there. Notice I didn't have an address in there, so it's not here. So I would have to go in and fill this all out, okay, before I send it off. Okay, so all these things need to be filled out. And the best way to do that is put it in the details. That way, if you have multiple documents from here, they're all going to be pre-filled. Okay, make sure that you have an expiration date on there. A lot of people put the expiration up here, but that isn't correct, because this says the property is currently listed for sale exclusively with another real estate firm. And then that current listing will expire on this date. But this is the one that this agreement shall terminate on this date. Okay, so make sure that you read all these forms and get to know them, and that's through your transaction partner. Okay, so fill them all out. You should get updated listings now, and it should be 2023 form that you should start to use. Okay. You have like until the end of August for grace period, but please use the new forms, okay, the 2023 forms. Okay, fill in not all of this, but at least the PIN, property identification number, or the legal description, okay? And then keep going down. It's not good to have open spaces on any of these because that can be altered. So when you have that, just put NA, okay? So there shouldn't be any blank spaces. Then the list price, the fee, the total fee is, this is the key, total fee. So if you have a list price of, whatever, $500,000, your total fee for the firm is going to be 6% or whatever, 5%, 6%. And that's the total fee. Now, out of that 6% is going to 2.5 or 3% of it is going to go to the buyer's agent. Okay. So that's how you fill that out. This marketing date is a real stickler for everybody. If you're using coming soon, which is right down here, this is the coming soon advertising. If it's checked, I'm going to look for a coming soon form. Okay. So if you put a marketing date up here of, let's say, tomorrow, so 7/22, you're going to start to go, where the heck did it go? It changed on me here. If you're going to go 7/22, 23, that's going to be your start date. And here, if I've checked this box, I'm going to put, let's say, 7/29/23. That means if you read this last sentence for sure, the status of the listing shall be changed to active on 7/29. Okay, so if you're using coming soon, the commencement of marketing date is when you're going to put it in MLS as coming soon. And I'm going to do that tomorrow. Okay, so 7/22, it's going to be advertised as coming soon. And on 7/29, the coming soon date will change to active. Does that make sense? That this is, I don't know why anybody doesn't understand this. You have to read the contract. The status of the listing shall be changed to active on this date. Okay. Is that any questions on that? All right, so let's say we're not going to use coming soon, and we're just going to make it active on a certain date. I'm going to make it active on 7/29. Okay, that's when that date that's when you're going to have it in MLS as active. No other, this won't be checked because I'm not doing coming soon advertising, but all these others will be. Okay. And your sellers will initial here. Okay, so if there's not a coming soon, then this becomes the active date. Okay, and it could be now, if there's no date in there, then it has to be within 24 hours of the signing of the agreement. Okay, but Sabra really wants a date in there, even if it is within 24 hours. So if you signed it today, then it should be, and it's active tomorrow, then put 7/22 in there. Okay. But that's the new rule now. It's got to be in MLS within 24 hours of the signing of the agreement. you get away with that from putting a date that's later than that date. So you're basically telling them that you're telling MLS or whoever that you're not going to start marketing that date until 7/29. If you do advertise it, then you immediately have to change that and change it to the correct date. Any thoughts on that? So this would act it could act as kind of a delayed marketing date. Okay. All right. Hope that's clear. Obviously, if they're doing office exclusive only, then they're going to initial here. None of these will be checked, but you'll still have a date that you're going to market it to the office. So it could be today or tomorrow, whatever. Okay. And then don't forget on these new forms, especially, check all the boxes, check all the little check marks. Okay. And especially I'm going to look for this fuel tank one, because that's been a point of litigation a lot with this North Carolina. So that's why they added this last year to make it more prominent. So you need to find out from the owner, if there's a fuel tank on the property. If you see any unusual pipes sticking out of the ground, you should ask about it, because it might be an underground tank. Okay, and then this dual agency. Okay, once you send these to your sellers, all of these things are going to have a place for them to initial. Okay, well, you don't want them to initial all three of these, because it says either dual and designated agency or exclusive representation. So make sure you get that right. Okay. And then here it is again. I've only got my email in here. What's missing? My phone number and my mailing address. Okay. The firm license, it's not in there. You can't put it in the detail sections, but it's C13291. So the firm license should be in there, and the firm phone number is 704-887-6600. You put your own phone number here. This one is the firm's phone number. Okay. And then what you do is you save and close it. Once you have everything filled in and properly, you save and close it. And then you can check it and create an envelope, which is here. Once you create the envelope, then it'll, so the listing agent and seller one would have to be included. Okay. And then you just send it to them. It'll pre-fill in where they're supposed to sign, but you need to check that document anyway. Okay, so here and sending here, you put a message, Mr. and Mrs. Kettler, please sign where indicated, and whatever else you need to add. Obviously, you can do a lot because there's 10,000 characters that you can fill in. And a lot of times I'll do that when I'm explaining the professional services disclosure, for sure, because that could be a confusing document. And then you click next, and that's going to show everything in here. So it shows where I'm supposed to sign and where your agent or the agent's supposed to sign, and then the seller. Okay. And just make sure that's all correct. Now, when you get down to here it is, they should sign here, public marketing and office exclusive. If you're going If you're not going Office exclusive, just put that, all you do is click it and drag it to the left to get rid of it, okay? Same as the, if you've already talked to them about dual and designated dual agency, I would just get rid of that. It's up to you. But you could also, if you click here, you can come over here and make it a required field that they have to sign, okay? Anyway, and then you send it, and then it'll show on your envelopes. It's waiting for others or waiting for your signature. Okay, does that make sense? I know it's a lot. It's a lot to go through right now. Okay. But that's okay. So once you have those documents in there and they're all signed and ready to go, then you go back to your opportunity. You say you want to attach files from Room Docs. And what's it's going to bring out, well, I don't have anything signed in my room. If there's a whole bunch of documents in there that are signed, it's going to pull up all those documents right here. So the working with real estate agent, that listing agreement I just did, even though I didn't sign it. If it's signed, it's going to be in here, and then you choose it and it'll pre-fill it. Okay. If you have let's say the wet sign, the working with real estate agent, you didn't use DocuSign, then you do it from your computer. Then you can find it, look for it, find it, and then you can click on it. I'm just going to do that one, and then there it is. Okay. And now I'm going to remove it because that's not the right document. That you can do that. Now, if you have one in here and I've rejected it, then you will get a rejection. I'm going to show you on another one here. If that document is rejected, I'm going to let you know by shoot film. Okay, this one's missing. She didn't have any rejected. Well, shoot. That was, let me find another one. Now, isn't that funny? Anyway, you're going to have a little. Well, shoot. Let me look again. Let's go right here. So the listing was opened. He didn't even submit that for review. So technically, I don't compliance that. But here's one. The offer to purchase was returned. Well, why was it returned? You'll notice this little red dialog box right here. This is what I will, if you hover over that, it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with the document. Okay, this one in this case is page 13 is missing the license information, and page 14 is not signed. So you need to change that. You need to correct that. And you correct it through DocuSign or however you want to correct it. And then you need to replace this. Okay. So instead of adding another, putting it somewhere else where it doesn't belong, you want to put it in the same placeholder by clicking on this box to the right of it. Okay. this little box with the 3 dots. You click on that and you can click update. Now, you don't need to do the comment. You don't need to say why you're updating it, but you do want to put the corrected one in here by either you would browse it, okay, or if you have it through DocuSign, click it through DocuSign and then bring it through there. Okay, the corrected one. Then once you've updated it, check it to make sure that's the one that you put in there. Make sure it's all correct, okay? Because I've had, you know, people will submit them and the agents haven't even signed it, or the buyers haven't signed it. So I have to, you know, choose the right one. Okay. Any questions on that? If you do have a document rejected, I'm going to tell you, and then I will say returned, and then I usually put a comment in here that'll say, you know, please replace the rejected documents and add the missing documents. Okay. And what'll happen is when you go up to your opportunity, look in this little bell and see that little red dot, and then there's a number 2 they put. So I have 2 messages. So if I click on that, I can read. So this this person, this is a new property. This is a new property. So I'm going to view that message, and I click on view message, and it's going to take me right to that document or the opportunity. Okay. And then, I mean, I'll go through this again, but yeah, so you just click on the message, view the message, and it brings you right to your opportunity that needs corrected. And that, I don't know, she would have to ask Jules and Leah. So that's it. Okay, once you have your documents in there, again, the working with real estate agent and the buyer's agency or listing agency agreements need to be submitted within 3 days of signing. Okay, so once you have those in there, you click on review, or you click on submit to MC. And that will bring it to my attention, because all I do, I don't check every single document that comes through, because there's 2,000, almost 3,000 documents that are open that people have not submitted yet for review. So the only 3 that I check are the submitted, resubmitted, and changed. So when you've submitted a document, that's when I'll see it. Okay. And it's changed, so I know she's changed something in her folder. Okay. Now, how's everybody doing? Everybody all right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you have questions, let me know. Now's the time to ask them. All right. So before you even start putting documents in, you have to pick out the correct file. Okay, so this is a North Carolina buyer's agency. So she picked the North Carolina sale file. Okay, and it's, or you can pick South Carolina, but just pick the right one, obviously. If you're doing new construction, let's say Mattamy Homes or Lennar or something, make sure you pick the new construction sales, either in North or South Carolina. And the reason for that is that the list that you have to do all these documents is much shorter for new construction than for a regular sales file. So don't make it confusing and pick out the sales. If it's new construction, pick out the new construction contracts, okay? In whichever appropriate state. You could do a buyer referral, you can do a land, if you're buying a piece of land, you can do it that way. Okay, so that's what you pick first. And then that will populate all of the placeholders, okay? Now, when you do a buyers, it's going to have a consultation folder, and it'll either have these sample documents or it'll have the working with real estate. Not going to have much in there, but so it's not really appropriate for me to check that. It's not necessary. So please do not submit that consultation folder. Okay, do not submit it. It's not necessary. It's just more work on your part and my part. Okay, so you have the under contract, and let's say you have an agreement to amend. First, let me back up. If there is a receipt of money. So this is a really important one because a lot of them come with just the either the due diligence signed or just the earnest money signed. This one is a good example because there's no earnest money. So that's why that's correct. So, but let's say you do have earnest money and it's on a separate piece of paper, or you have a document that isn't in that list of placeholders. How do you add it? You go to add a document by clicking this right here next to where it says attach files from. You're going to click those three large dots, and then you're going to say add a document. Okay. And then you're going to tell what that document is, either EM, maybe it's the earnest money acknowledgement. And then I don't care what this is. It could be an agreement or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then you're going to pick your document. And if it's from DocuSign, you'll pick DocuSign. Sorry, my dog's barking. Or you're going to grab it from your files that you've downloaded, okay? And you'll put it in there and then save it, okay? That's how you add a document. Oops. And what you'll do, and it'll come at the very bottom of the page, okay? Like this one is an additional document, which is one she added because the FHA placeholder was not in there. Okay, so you add it here. Don't put it in a place that isn't appropriate, okay? Like don't put your FHA agreement in the additional provisions addendum. And then a lot of people will put they'll add a placeholder and put the agreement to amend. Well, agreement to amend goes in the closed folder. So if you're not sure, or if it's not in there, just think of, just check the other folders to make sure there's not a placeholder, because agreement to amend is right here. And think of it as you have to send that agreement to amend to the attorney. So it would be part of the closing, okay? Buyer, the possession before closing too would have to go to the attorney because it's something they need to know. Okay. You have to click, you have to submit each file you can't just click one and think all of them are going to be submitted. Anybody have any questions? Okay. All right. Now the most important part, not really, but it's important for you. Now you want to submit, you want to submit all these documents at least 7 days before closing, because you don't want to go to closing and I have to return a file or return a document because it's not correct or you're missing something. So give yourself a good week to find out if you do need an additional document or if one is incorrect. Then you can change them before closing. All right. Now, do this also within 7 days of closing. Right here, this is how you're going to get paid. So you have to complete that, the offers and submissions. So offers and commissions, I mean. So you have to add the offer. Okay, she already did that. And it's going to give you prompts. You just follow the prompts. There's going to be a page that says agent analysis. You can fill that out if you want. You don't have to. But once you're done, you then it'll say, ask you to accept the offer. You have to accept that offer. And then once you accept it, there's going to be, instead of view commission, it'll say manage commissions. Okay. And you have to complete that step. So if you click on manage commissions, it'll still come up pretty much the same. And then it'll ask you for the contract date again. And then if there's an adjustment in your commission rate, maybe make sure you do that here. And then all this other stuff is pretty much, pre-filled out. This will populate for you once you have this, okay? And of course, then if you want to additional deductions, if you want to donate, it'll ask you to donate. Okay. This person is on a team, so it gets a little more complicated that way. But you would fill all this out. Once you found that this is satisfactory, you click, it'll say submit. You have to do that in order to get paid, because that submission then will go to Lynn, who will assign you, it's called a DA number, a disbursement authorization number, and that's the number that she uses to pay you. Okay. So if that's not there, you won't get paid. Okay. And if you do need to change it, you would just call Lynn or send her an email and she'll let you know how to change it. Any questions on that? You just follow the prompts on there. It's easy. What else? Is there any general questions that you have that you might need to ask me? Remember to submit often and early. Well, if nobody has any questions, obviously I'm here. I'm remote, but I'm here. You can reach me by phone or email. And hopefully you guys are all in your T groups that's teaching you all the ins and outs of the documents and coaching and whatever. But yeah, just holler at me if you need any help. Okay.
What's your email? What would be your email?
Oh, It's my name, Carla, Karla, Kettler, Kettler, at kw.com. I also do I do the transaction coordination now for the office. So if anybody's interested in that, you just have to, you can check with Julia Designs or shoot me an email about that as well. And yes, Brianna, there is a copy. It'll be on, you can check with Liz to find out where the copy is. I think it's I don't know where it is. I don't know. I don't know where she puts them. Okay. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, have a good rest of your day. And I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Take care.